Security analyst Jim Sciutto with us. Jim, first off, your reaction to the timing here, because it's important.
It is, no question. And I reached out to European officials. They don't see this as an accident. They see it as deliberate. They say maybe one or two drones might stray over the border. But in this case, as Nick was saying, it's multiple drones crossing into Polish territory, which is, of course, a NATO ally. So keep in mind, they see this as, in effect, a probing exercise, testing the defenses. How far can they get in before they're noticed? But also, crucially, how does Poland respond? How does NATO respond? And maybe even more so, how does the U.S. respond? What are the red lines? Are dropping drones into Polish territory a red line for President Trump? We'll see. That's
very important. And sounding this Article 4 alarm, how significant is that?
Well, so it's not, of course, Article 5. It's not saying we've been attacked, this is an act of war, NATO allies join together to help defend us. But that doesn't mean, to be clear, that NATO's suddenly at war with Russia. But they are going to discuss some sort of response here. And to note how significant this is, they've only done this 7 times since 1949, since the founding of the alliance. Of course, the big question, what does that response look like? And we know it's been on the table for months now from President Trump himself, would be increased U.S. sanctions, but we haven't seen those yet.
What does this mean for Ukraine in all of this?
So Ukraine, listen, I mean, Ukraine has been getting attacked every day, multiple times, right? And keep in mind, these were hundreds of Russian drones that hit Ukrainian territory, just a dozen front lines of Russia's aggression in Europe. We're fighting kind of the first battle for you, to help defend you. And I think this helps give him some backing for that. And I was just going to note this, that it's not the first time Russia has hit European targets. Last month in Kyiv, a Russian strike hit the offices of the EU and the British Council. It was a deadly strike. Not EU officials, but people died in that strike. And European officials did not see that one as accidental either.
Yeah, it certainly makes Zelensky's warning more salient, right? And Polish officials have worried about this as well. Does it make their fears a little more salient?
100%. The Eastern-facing European allies for years have been sounding the alarm more to some degree than the West, and it makes sense, right? I mean, they're closer to Russia, too, one, and two, they were under Russian domination just 25 years ago or so, right? Warsaw Pact, Soviet Union, and they believe that it is quite plausible, maybe even realistic, that Russia's next target is NATO. They've been saying this for some time. Some in the West disagree with that, but they believe the threat is real.
Jim, thank you so much for taking us through all of that. Really appreciate it. Boris?